props to you, cause everything hip-hop's from the heart. So I give props to you. I hope that your career gets a start, but it ain't gonna be here, ain't gonna be now. I don't even need a writer, this is me holding it down. So understand every word is a reply, so you could look up, cause it's a bird in the sky. It's Superman, got it in my hands in the mic, and you can tell cause I'm making mistakes that this is not a rhyme that I write. Understand if you ever trying to clown on me that this ain't no circus, I'm spitting out my purpose. You're the worst thing to fall out of your mom's cervix. I used a similar line in the last battle I used, but understand I'm nice and I'm only lighting the fuse. So if you think you're fighting with me, then it ain't written. So while the clock's ticking, I'm lyrically drop kicking. Don't come at me, I almost died from asthma. And that's why I'm here spitting. I hope you got a pastor praying for you in heaven, knowing he looking down, cause this is my time and I'm still wearing the crown.
What's up, guys? So I'm here with Mavric Hayes. He's an up-and-coming rapper here in California. So he's also in the Marine Corps with me. That's how I found out about him, by one of my friends. So just here interviewing him now for this channel right here. So you're from Brooklyn, New York?
Originally, yes.
Okay. Is that where you grew up?
That is where I grew up. Hopped around a little bit after there, but from pretty much the time I was born, so I went to college. I was a Brooklyn native.
Okay.
And resident.
And how old are you?
I'm 31.
31 years old.
Years old.
Nice, nice.
So I don't look it though, so it's
yeah,
okay.
I thought you were like 24. 23.
Yeah, that's what most people. That's what I get. So I'm gonna try to keep that youthful exuberance going.
Nice, nice. So I did some research on you, and said you were exposed to hip hop at a young age. You made appearances on BET 106 and Park, Def Jams. You were in Anthony Anderson's Mixtape comedy show, and so much more.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a dream. Like, what made you like stop doing that stuff?
So I started at a really young age, writing music, probably around 12. Right around like mid-high school years, so like 15, 16 years old, I started doing some underground shows. I got really deep in the underground community in New York City and Brooklyn. I was lucky enough to meet a few MCs out there who were able to kind of like take me under their wing, and like End of the Week is a continually running group that does like open mics, battles, things like that. I got involved with that whole network, and I just loved it. It was like really raw, like natural hip hop, and I kind of used that and built leverage, released a couple mixtapes, networked a lot. I did a lot of networking. I'm kind of a people person and kind of have to be, so that's what kind of led me to getting noticed and ending up on 106 in Park, and then Anthony Anderson's show. Then, I was always one of those people that didn't want to just rely on music. I know like you'll hear different trains of thought where like if you want to do this, if you really want to achieve this dream, you have to, put it in 100%, like that's all you can do. But I never really believed that. I felt like I always had to have a backup plan. Work as hard as I can in music. I know I have a gift for it, but at the same time I needed to have a backup plan. So I went to college and pursued music in college. I was down in South Florida, so it was still a very music hub area. That's one of the reasons I chose to go to school down there. Did shows down there, recorded. One of my best friends is an amazing musician. His name's Matty Sterling. If you want to check him out, he's fantastic. But he was pretty much like my roommate. We were together every day making music, and one of the problems was, there was a big party scene down there, and I was young, I was naive. I was more focused on making music and partying than I was about like putting in the work to actually get myself out there. I was one of those naive young people that thought like I'm so good that somebody's gonna hear me one day and just everything's gonna fall into place. I think a lot of people have that mentality. And so, I went through some personal issues in college. But then my third year of college, I was offered an opportunity to go on tour with the Wu-Tang Clan for the Rock the Bells Festival. So I did that, and it turned out to be an amazing experience. I met, everybody that I looked up to in terms of hip hop, from DJ Premier to Fife from Tribe Called Quest. Tons of celebrities I was able to meet and network with. But there was also a lot of a dark side to that whole experience, where there was a lot of business dealings that was going on that kind of screwed me over. I'm not going to go into details about it, but for the most part, it was a great experience in terms of who I met, but I didn't really benefit much from it just because there were a lot of bad things that happened too. And that really turned me off a little bit. Then I went through some more personal issues that kind of sidetracked me from music. I always wrote, music every day, made songs, but I wasn't getting in the studio, I wasn't promoting myself. And then I kind of hit a really dark place in my life, and music wasn't really that important. It was more about getting my life back on track and prioritizing myself. And then I did that. I ended up getting a job in finance. Strangely enough, I was in a natural gas options broker for a little while, which was a crazy 180-degree split from what I was doing, but I was making really good money, and I was like, great, I can fund my music career with this. But with the money came, that dark side of my life again, and that kind of led me down a bad path. I left that job, and then it just came to a point where I had to get my life together. I met who is now my wife at a certain point, and then that relationship became really important to me in developing that. We had our son, that when my son was born, that was pretty, that's a big impact in my life. And now my priorities are completely changed. Now I don't even care about what my future goals are. It's all about what I have to do for my kid and my wife. So like music kind of took a sidetrack to that. And then when my wife was about 8 months pregnant, I decided to join the Marine Corps. It wasn't kind of like a split decision. The Marine Corps was always something that was in the back of my mind since I was a little kid. It's just I was so pre-focused on music that I never thought I could do, Marine Corps and music. I had to pick one.
Right.
It wasn't until I got out of that naive, young, stupid mentality that I was like, I should join this. It's something that if I don't do this, I'm going to regret for the rest of my life. There's something about the Marine Corps that always called to me. Just kind of this be the best version of yourself that you can be. Something that's going to give you discipline, that's going to give you, it's going to motivate you and give you a sense of self-worth that I felt like I was lacking. So I did that. I joined the Marine Corps, and it was the best decision I've ever made. I love the Marine Corps. It gave me all the things that I feel like I was lacking that not only benefit me in life, but as well as being a musician, like the discipline, the work ethic, the building something of value that I get every day when I go to work. I now attribute that to music, and at the same time it gives my family the stability, having a paycheck coming in, knowing that healthcare is taken care of, all these things that I don't really have to worry about. That gives me a lot of freedom to continue doing music again. And I'm in California. I have people out here that I've known for a long time that I'm able to work with, and I started getting back into it again because it was like, my skills never digressed. Like I kept getting better and better, and I noticed this, and I was like, like I'm 31, I got a kid, I got a wife, I have a stable job, I have a career, so if music doesn't work out, I have this amazing career in the Marine Corps. So everything kind of fit perfectly, and I was like, this is the time to do it. Similar to how I felt when I joined the Marine Corps. It was like, now or never. If I don't do this, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. It was like, I have all these tools. Social media is at a point where it wasn't when I was like 15, 16 years old. I literally can do everything myself. I no longer have to, I don't have that mentality of like, someone's going to discover me. Someone's going to, give me a record deal. Now it's like I can do this myself. I don't need anybody. I can literally promote all of this myself and put it out there. And if 100 people hear it and they like it, it's great. I'm loving it. If 1 million people like it, that's even better. But when I was a kid, there was this like desperation that I felt that was like, I have to make it. I have to be successful with music, or else I'm a failure in life. And I think as much as that was motivating, it was also really detrimental to me. It hurt a lot because it was like so much pressure I was putting on myself. Now I don't care if I get, obviously I'm still hungry. I'm still that like really like hustling type mentality where I want to be successful with music, but I don't have that pressure, because I have this backup plan. I have this great career in the Marine Corps or outside of the Marine Corps if I decide to get out, because of what the Marine Corps has been able to do for me. So, that's why that's kind of like the long story of why I took this time off from it and why I'm getting back into it now.
Okay, so Skyfall. That's a freestyle, right? You didn't write that?
That's one of my gifts, is being able to think really quickly and rhyme shit. Sorry for cussing.
No, it's okay.
It's family friendly. I don't know.
No, it's okay. But it's got 1.8 thousand views in the first couple of hours that are for day 2.
Yeah.
And did you record that like in your friend's?
So I have a studio that I use. It's a professional studio, so it's not like something that's in a closet or something.
Right.
It's but yeah, I mean, when I started this plan, I've been working on an album for about 2 years now, and so I'm thinking to myself, all right, I can't just release this album. I have to like build it up. I have to start gaining a following before I just release this album. Otherwise, I'm going to release the album, and 500 people that are like my close friends and family will hear it. Maybe they'll share it with some people, but it's not going to get the exposure that I really want. So the first thing I had to do is like, I have people that I've known my whole life. Like I said, I'm really good with networking, and I've built connections in my life that have lasted for over 10 years with hundreds and hundreds of people. And every single one of those people knows I'm a rapper, and they always ask, when are you going to release music? They've been asking me for years and years and years. So I was like, I can't just really drop an album. I have to like first show them like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still doing this. I'm still just as good as, and if not better than when you remember me last time. And so I decided to release this freestyle that I did. I heard the Drake song right after the Toronto Raptors won the championship, and Drake released his package that had those 2 songs on it, and Omerta was one of them. And for something about the beat, it was just like different, and I really felt it. And I was like, I just started kind of like, I was sitting, I think I was eating dinner one night, and I'm hearing the beat, and I'm just like, I started rhyming to it in my head, and I'm like, oh, I kind of have something with this. And so I called up my engineer, and I was like, hey, I gotta lay this something down like tomorrow. So I went in the studio, he played the beat, and kind of just took what was in my head and put it out there.
Okay. So is there any artists that you like to collab with, like big artists?
Yeah, I mean, that's a long list. Jay-Z's my idol, one of them. He'd definitely be someone I would like to collab with, but someone that I feel is like a little bit different. Someone like Lil Uzi Vert. I feel like he's got such a unique style, and my style is like very conventional, kind of conservative hip-hop, even though I'm kind of branching out now. But I feel like our sounds would kind of mesh pretty well and just bring like a different feel to a song. J. Cole would be amazing to do some kind of storytelling, really lyrical and kind of deep-seated song. Joyner Lucas, kind of on that same level, who I'm a really big fan of. Travis Scott, just to make some type of crazy production, kind of like a stadium packed. Just Travis Scott, when I listen to his music, is kind of like you're not just listening to a song, you're kind of going through a journey almost. His production is just crazy. So I would love to work with him on like a production level.